The SU-27 flanker jet was 2 minutes into its display when suddenly it seemed to lose power and drift towards the ground. From another angle, the jet can be seen after impact cartwheeling across the packed display ground before erupting into a giant fireball.
On July 27, 2002, a Ukrainian Air Force Sukhoi Su, piloted by Vladimir Topinar and co-piloted by Yuri Yurgorov, crashed during an aerobatics presentation at Skniliv Airfield near Lviv, Ukraine. The accident killed 77 people and injured 543, 100 of whom were hospitalized. To this very day, it is the deadliest airshow accident in history. Aerobatics is the art of using non-conventional planes to perform tricks in the sky. Sometimes these planes are fitted with pyrotechnics or smoke to add to the show. And aerobatics as a profession and a performance has been done for nearly a century. And in recent decades, aerobatics has transitioned from the use of biplanes to the use of decommissioned fighter jets, mostly because of their speed and the additional tricks that you can perform with modern technology. The Skniliv Air Show was hosted at the Lviv International Airport. More than 10,000 spectators attended the air show, and this performance in particular was special. It was meant to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the Ukrainian Air Force's 14th Air Corps, and the Su-27 aircraft was the main event. It was flown by 2 experienced pilots, and unfortunately, even given these 2 individuals lengthy flight time, a terrible accident occurred.
Ёб твою мать, блядь!
From another angle, the jet can be seen after impact cartwheeling across the packed display ground before erupting into a giant fireball.
The Su-27 entered a rolling maneuver at 12:52 p.m. with a downward trajectory at low altitude. It rolled upright one more time and was still descending rapidly when the left wing dropped shortly before it hit the ground. At this point, the crew bailed. They quickly ejected out of the jet, all while the plane was spinning uncontrollably towards the ground. The aircraft flattened out initially, skidding over the ground towards another airplane and striking a glancing blow against a transport aircraft, before beginning to explode and cartwheel into the crowd of spectators. Both pilots survived with minor injuries, while 77 spectators were killed, including 28 children. Another 100 were hospitalized for head injuries, burns, and bone fractures. Other injuries were less severe and did not require hospitalization, and a total of 543 people were injured during the incident. It's been 20 years since this accident, and fortunately, no other airshow accidents have surpassed this casualty count. And that's the direct result of people going out of their way to make sure that these shows are as safe as possible. Following the disaster, there was a swift investigation into how this tragedy occurred. Both pilots testified that they received different flight maps for the performance, and there was audio evidence of a conversation within the cockpit between the 2 pilots asking where the spectators were, but their testimonies weren't taken seriously. Many people still applied much of the blame to the pilots, including former President Leonid Kuchma, who not only blamed the pilots but also blamed the military for the disaster, and he quickly dismissed General Viktor Stalinkov, the head of the Air Force. And once all the evidence was collected, on June 24, 2005, a military court sentenced pilot Vladimir Topinar and co-pilot Yuri Yurgorov to 14.5 years in prison. The court found the 2 pilots and 3 other military officials guilty of failing to follow orders, negligence, and violating flight rules. 2 of the 3 officials were sentenced up to 6 years in prison, and the 3rd received up to 4 years. On top of Topinar's 14-year sentence, he was ordered to pay $200,000 to families who needed to be compensated. Eventually, Yurgorov was ordered to pay $67,000 to families. Although the pilots were assigned the majority of the blame, there was evidence that Topinar was nervous about the performance. He requested additional time to train, but this request was denied. So what do you think? Do you think the pilots carry most of the blame? Or do you think the Ukrainian Air Force ought to carry some of the blame as well? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to request any topics that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments down below or hit me up on my social media. Links to all of my socials can be found in the pinned comment. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.